A country made up of miles of sand, a place known for its beautiful ancient artifacts and structures, a land with leading figures whose impact still exists today. This country is Egypt. Egypt, or also known as the Arab Republic of Egypt, is one of the most interesting and historical places of all time. Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of Africa. The capital is Cairo, which is also located near the well-known Nile River. With the country comes a flag. The flag of Egypt features 3 horizontal stripes, red, white, and black. The emblem of an eagle is situated in the center of the flag. The color red symbolizes the bloodshed and conflict, and white represents the country's bright future. Black symbolizes the end of the oppression of the Egyptians at the hands of the Egyptian monarchy and British colonialism. Not only does the flag represent what Egypt is as a whole, but also the hardships they have overcome, including significant historical events such as Alexander the Great's arrival. Egypt wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for its history. One historical event that impacted the country was when a man named Alexander the Great came and conquered. Egypt fell to Alexander without resistance, and the Egyptians hailed him as their deliverer from Persian hegemony. At Memphis, the Egyptian priesthood recognized him as pariah, offered him the royal sacrifices, and invested him as king on the throne of Ptah. They hailed Alexander as a god. Alexander promoted Greek culture in Egypt. In 331, he founded the city of Alexandria, which became the center of Hellenistic culture and commerce. Devoted to science, Alexander dispatched an expedition up the Nile to investigate the sources of the river and the true explanation for its inundations. Alexander the Great made a strong foundation for Egypt through the port of Alexandria. As you make your way down the river, you can escape to Cairo, where you can find the outskirts of ancient Egypt. This is where you can find the pyramids of Giza. Throughout Egypt, there are many ancient tombs and artifacts. However, another very important historical event is the creation of the pyramids of Giza. The pyramids of Giza, 4th Dynasty pyramids erected on the rocky plateau on the west bank of the Nile River near Giza in northern Egypt. In ancient times, they were included among the 7 wonders of the world. The designations of the pyramids Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure correspond to the kings for whom they were built. The northernmost and oldest pyramid of the group was built for Khufu, the 2nd king of the 4th dynasty. The middle pyramid was built for Khafre, the 4th of the 8 kings of the 4th dynasty. And the southernmost and last pyramid to be built was that of Menkaure, the 5th king for the 4th dynasty. Ancient Egypt still exists today and shows how citizens worship their rulers by making their presence last forever. However, currently Egypt has struggled with cooperating as a whole. Egypt's struggle with Islamic militancy have existed since 1928, when the militant group Muslim Brotherhood formed in opposition to Great Britain's influence over Egyptian politics. The Muslim Brotherhood wanted to end all Western secular influence in the country, and to this end it engaged in so many terroristic attacks on the Egyptian government that the government banned its existence. Nonetheless, the group continued its efforts and advocated the complete destruction of the Egyptian regime under the argument that by maintaining ties with secular governments, Egypt's leaders were going against the teachings of their holy scripture, the Quran. This belief that the Islamic faith mandates the destruction of secular governments still exists among Islamic militants today, not just in Egypt, but elsewhere in the world. At this recent event has been a constant obstacle for Egypt, the dividing of the Nile River, and also caused issues within the country. Nile River, Egypt's resource for drinking water and irrigation, has become a source of great contention as Egypt's population has grown and as pressure has increased from countries upstream to share the river's resources. Recently, Egypt and Sudan are not interested in the agreement between other upstream countries to equally divide the Nile. However, in 2015, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt agreed to divide the Nile once the dam was finished. With this agreement in place, it has brought unity among the countries along the Nile. However, Egypt still has their own language, religion, and customs. Egypt's most common language is Arabic. Egyptian Arabic is also mostly understood by everyone because it is the dialect used in films and music. Mostly Muslim or Sunni Muslims are the vast majority in Egypt. However, there is about 10% of Coptic Christians too. Since social status plays a big role in Egypt, greetings are very important. Usually, if you are friends, you hug. However, if you are opposite genders, the woman must put her hand out first, or else the greeting is all verbal. Because Egyptians' greetings are so vital to their lifestyle, visiting is also very common on both Fridays and holidays. Power is an important aspect in Egypt, and with power comes wealth and praise. Wealth, reputation, and religion consider your rank when living in Egypt as well. Egypt has many unique customs, but one thing that citizens and tourists love is the food. One thing that is sort of funny but also kind of cool is that the main meal of the day is lunch. Some foods that Egyptians eat are falafels, hawashi, and koshari. Not only do the traditions and community make Egypt its own unique country, but the government helps stabilize it too. Egypt has a unitary government which is run by the head of state, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The Prime Minister of Egypt is Mustafa Madbouli. Overall, the president serves 6 years in a 2-term limit and appoints the prime minister. The 596-seat Majalis al-Nawab House of Representatives is the country's unicameral parliament. Members of parliament serve for 5 years. With economic reform, Egypt has lowered inflation and improved the climate for international investment. Still, large sections of the population remain impoverished. The United States and Egypt share a strong partnership based on mutual interest in Middle East peace and stability, economic opportunity, and regional security. Promoting a stable, prosperous Egypt, where the government protects the basic rights of the citizens and fulfills the aspirations of the Egyptian people, will continue to be a core objective of U.S. policy. Since 1980, the United States has provided Egypt with what now totals over $40 billion in military and $30 billion in economic assistance. Overall, Egypt is a country that doesn't blend in with many others. It is both old but still thriving with living history and stories. No other country can replicate Egypt for how it is so special and an unforgettable place. Ancient Egypt is known for its advances in the arts, architecture, science, technology, and religion. Its rich history includes records of kings and pharaohs, periods of prosperity and decline, empires and conquests, and the construction of grand structures. Now, this brings an end to our tour. After learning the basic information, history, current events, traditions, and relationships of Egypt, you are an expert of the country. We hope that you can come back and visit the gift of the Nile. Or, as I would like to call it, Egypt.